Growing up in Kashmir, especially during the turmoil times, was a bit difficult for everyone. Towards the end of my college, there was this lot of mental tussle going on as to what to do once we are out of college. Civil services was something I was really fond of, I was really fascinated with. I could not get into the Indian Administrative Service, but somehow I think I always believed that there were things doable in life, and I too wanted to do something. As I look back towards my journey, there are three things which I carry forward. Number one, I often remember myself as this small kid back in Kashmir, walking along this hilly road from my village Devipura to another village, Kawarigam, where I used to attend my school. While walking on the road, I would often play with pebbles and stones on the road and would also imagine doing a lot of things when I would grow up. Sometimes I dreamt of becoming a doctor. Sometimes I would dream of becoming a scientist. I didn't know what a scientist was, but I'd heard my father say that scientist is one who finds cure to diseases and invents things. Sometimes I wanted to become a divisional commissioner, because in our place, divisional commissioner was the one who issued orders as to when the schools would be shut for winter vacations in December and when they would reopen after the winters in March. I don't know to what extent, how much all this meant at that point of time. But somehow I think I always believed that there were things doable in life, and I too wanted to do something. Hello everyone, my name is Athar Aamir Khan. I'm an IAS officer. Today I'm here to share my story with you. I come from a village called Devipura in Anantnag district of Jammu and Kashmir. Growing up in Kashmir, especially during the turmoil times, was a bit difficult for everyone. Hartals, strikes, and the situation around would often keep schools shut for a long time. Many youngsters, including my friends, dropped out of school in class 8th, 10th, and some even in class 12th. I somehow was really fortunate. My father is a school teacher. He and my grandfather, they ensured that I went to school properly, or at least I was studying at home. My grandfather is an illiterate person. He doesn't know how to read and write, but has been extremely passionate about my education. He would often come to my school and ask my teachers about how I was doing in different subjects. He had no idea what science is or what mathematics is. He would still come to school and ask my teachers, "ये maths में कैसा करता है? ये science में कैसा करता है? ये school bunk तो नहीं करता है? How is he doing in science? How is he doing in maths? Does he bunk classes?" I have seen him work really hard in our agricultural fields. His hard work and his goodness in dealing with people and in dealing with life in general has always inspired me. And I always make it a point that I honor what he has taught me and follow what I have learned from him. During the school days, I always tried to take part in the extracurricular activities, whichever they were. In class 10th, I got an opportunity to represent J&K in the National Children's Science Congress, which was held that year in Gangtok, Sikkim. This was somehow a turning point in my life. In Gangtok, I got to meet and interact with students from all across the country, from every state of our country. I got to see the richness, the culture, the diversity of our country, and it felt really amazing. We also got an opportunity to meet and interact with former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and meeting him is probably the best thing that can happen to a student. He inspired us with his ideas of igniting minds. I remember one example which he shared with us, the story of a bumblebee, that the laws of aerodynamics say that a bumblebee cannot fly because of its body to mass ratio and etc. But it flies because it wants to fly. It has always given me hope and also always given me courage to work hard. After my class 10th, I started preparing for the different entrance examinations. In 11th and 12th, I had taken both biology as well as mathematics as my subjects. Initially, I joined the Government Medical College Jammu after clearing the pre-medical entrance examination. Then while I was in the GMC, the results of our IIT JEE examination were out, and then I decided to shift to Indian Institute of Technology, Mandi, where from I completed my BTech in electrical engineering. Towards the end of my college, there was this lot of mental tussle going on as to what to do once we are out of college, whether to go for higher studies or join a company or civil services. And I spent a lot of time thinking about it. And I realized that the civil services was something I was really fond of, I was really fascinated with. The impactful work, the opportunity it offered was really immense. And I started preparing for the UPSC examination alongside my last semester in college. I had also joined some weekend classes in Delhi. So every weekend, on Friday evening, I would hop onto a bus from Mandi, Himachal Pradesh, reach Delhi in the morning on Saturday, attend classes on Saturday, write a mock test on Sunday, then get back onto bus on the Sunday evening and reach Mandi, Himachal Pradesh back on Monday morning for my regular college work. Becoming an IAS had become a dream and passion. So I was really inspired by the kind of work, by the role of like a catalyst that a civil servant did. You were not a teacher, but you could still ensure that the education system was better. You are not a doctor, but you could still ensure that the health services, the medical services in the area where you serve are better. You don't drive around buses or cars, but you could still ensure that the transport system in your place is better, in your place is more organized. And by the end of my 8th semester, I appeared in the preliminary examination of UPSC Civil Service examination, and subsequently in the mains and the interview. And that year I got rank 571 in the examination. I could not get into the Indian Administrative Service, but was offered the Indian Railways Traffic Service, the IRTS. And then I decided that I'll write the examination again, this time with even more hard work. So then I started reading more books, starting making new notes, practicing more papers, revising again and again. And at the end of that exercise that year, I wrote the examination and was fortunate enough to get the rank 2 in the examination, and then joined the Indian Administrative Service. Right now, I'm posted as CEO Zilla Parishad in the Jaipur district of Rajasthan. As I look back towards my journey, there are 3 things which I carry forward. Number 1, daring to dream, opening one's imagination to possibilities. Everyone has a right to dream, and then there is no reason why one shouldn't. There are so many people who have achieved so much despite odds, despite challenges. So if they could, why can't we? We don't have to put boundaries or limitations to our dreams. Instead, we have to let them be infinite. Number 2, failures are a part of life. Difficulties and challenges are what make something worth striving for. So when your chips are down, when you think that you can't do it, that's the time when you have to pull up your socks, push yourself, and let your dreams fuel you. We don't have to be scared of failing. We don't have to be scared of failure. Instead, we have to try harder and just do our part. As somebody has rightly said, that there may be so many reasons for not doing something. We have to find that one reason to do it. And number 3, we don't have to take anything for granted. I strongly believe that I was really fortunate among the kids who used to study with me back in my village. Some of them were far more talented and far more hardworking than me. But the conditions within their homes or situation outside did not let them achieve their dreams. Instead, I was lucky enough that I could study well. I could study in an IIT. I could even prepare for civil services in Delhi. So this is not some sort of a success born out of individual hard work or talent. It's also a story of being fortunate. And it is this which calls for far greater responsibility. It calls for greater compassion and kindness. It calls for far greater service to the people who are not as privileged as us. And as my grandfather puts it, it's this privilege which calls for making oneself more useful to the society and people around us. Thank you so much.
लगता था शायद मैं आईएएस बन भी जाऊं तो मुझे इंग्लिश शायद नहीं बोल पाऊंगा। मेरा नाम तबरेज़ आलम है और मैं बिहार से बिलोंग करता हूं। मैंने जो भी मेरा एजुकेशन मैंने बिहार से हिंदी मीडियम में मैंने प्राप्त की और लास्ट ईयर मैंने अपना ग्रेजुएशन कंप्लीट किया है। प्रेजेंटली मैं दिल्ली में रह रहा हूं और यूपीएससी का प्रिपरेशन कर रहा हूँ। तो प्रॉब्लम जो सबसे बड़ा जो प्रॉब्लम होता है कि जैसे आप हिंदी मीडियम में स्कूल जब प्राप्त करते हैं तो क्या होता है कि जब कोई अगर आपसे कोई प्रश्न पूछता है इंग्लिश में तो आप तो उसके बारे में जानकारी आपको होता है, बट क्या होता है कि लैंग्वेज का आप उस इंग्लिश में एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर पाते। इंग्लिश से तो बहुत डर लगता है क्योंकि मेरा इन्वायरमेंट ही नहीं है, तो इंग्लिश से डर लगेगा, ये नेचुरल है। मैंने जोश स्किल एप्लीकेशन के बारे में मैंने सुना, तो मैंने जिस स्किल के बारे में सुना और जाकर उसे इंस्टॉल भी किया था, और मैंने उसकी जो भी प्रोसेस है मैंने उसे जाना और इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग कोर्स के लिए मैंने क्लास स्टार्ट कर दिया। पहले तो थोड़ा बेसिक पोर्शन ग्रामर का बताया जाता है, उसके बाद वोकैब्स का जो प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ता है, उसके बाद रीडिंग प्रैक्टिस होता है, और अल्टीमेटली आपको प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ता है आपके प्रैक्टिस पार्टनर से। 10 मिनट आपको मिनिमम बात करना पड़ता है, उसके बाद आपका एक जो कोर्स होता है वो कंप्लीट हो पाता है। मैं बोल सकता हूँ श्योरली कि मैं किसी से भी कोई भी पर्सन हूँ, मैं उससे इंग्लिश में कम्युनिकेट कर सकता हूँ, मुझे कोई इशू नहीं है। सो जोश स्किल ने काफ़ी हेल्प किया मेरी कम्युनिकेशन स्किल को इम्प्रूव करने में। सो डेट वाई टुडे आई एम हियर। सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक जोश स्किल who really helped me a lot to improve my communication skill. Thank you, Josh. And finally, I would like to say, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Thank you.